Matthew Bible Summary to Deuteronomy 16. Of Easter, Whit Sunday, and the Feast of Tabernacles, what officers ought to be ordained. The 16th chapter. Observe the month of Abib, and offer Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore offer Passover unto the Lord thy God, and sheep and oxen in the place which the Lord shall choose to make his name dwell there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread therewith, but shalt eat therewith the bread of tribulation 7 days long. For thou camest out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest out of the land of Egypt all days of thy life. And see that there be no leavened bread seen in all thy coasts 7 days long, and that there remain nothing of the flesh which thou hast offered the first day at even until the morning. Thou mayest not offer Passover in any of thy cities which the Lord thy God giveth thee, but in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to make his name dwell in. There thou shalt offer Passover at even about the going down of the sun, even in the season that thou camest out of Egypt. And thou shalt seethe and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen, and depart on the morrow, and get thee unto thy tent. 6 days thou shalt eat sweet bread, and the 7th day is for the people to come together to the Lord thy God, that thou mayest do no work. Then reckon the 7 weeks, and begin to reckon the 7 weeks when the sickle beginneth in the corn. And keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God, that thou give a freewill offering of thine hand unto the Lord thy God, according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. And rejoice before the Lord thy God, both thou, thy son, thy daughter, thy servant, and thy maid, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to make his name dwell there. And remember that thou wast a servant in Egypt, that thou observe and do these ordinances. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days long, after that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. And thou shalt rejoice in that thy feast, both thou and thy son, thy daughter, thy servant, thy maid, the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow that are in thy cities. 7 days thou shalt keep holy day unto the Lord thy God, in the place which the Lord shall choose. For the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy fruits, and in all the works of thine hands, and therefore shalt thou be glad. 3 times in the year shall all your males appear before the Lord thy God, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of sweet bread, in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord empty, but every man with the gift of his hand, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee. Judges and officers thou shalt make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and let them judge the people righteously. Wrest not the law, nor know any person, neither take any reward. For gifts blind the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. But in all things follow righteousness, that thou mayest live, and enjoy the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt plant no grove of whatsoever trees it be, nigh unto the altar of the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. Thou shalt set thee up no pillar, which the Lord thy God hateth.